Carl, I'm quoting some big tech companies here. I've got Amazon down $2 at 768. I've got Facebook down a fraction. I've got Microsoft down a fraction. I've got Apple actually up 8 cents. The big tech companies, they're not doing that much. And Steve Hilton is still here. He's a tech guy. He runs a tech company. He may have a British accent, but he knows what he's talking about, this guy. Why is it that these big technology companies have not recovered to the levels that they were at before the election?
Well, I think that there's no real world indicator that would give any confidence that anything's going to really change there. I mean, I don't think that there's clarity yet about
growth. Aren't we going to buy more iPhones? Are we going to buy more software? No.
Well, I think that you've got to look at each one differently. Each company has got there's a different set of constraints. You've got regulatory issues affecting them. With Apple, for example, there's a whole question mark over what's going to happen in terms of manufacturing. You've got threats of tariffs. You know, each one has got a slightly different set of circumstances.
Can you ever see the day when Apple manufactures its products, like an iPhone, in America?
I absolutely can. I think Trump's going to make it happen. I really believe that.
Now, that's a radical
I genuinely believe that.
You think it actually happened?
Yes, I think they would love to. And I think that, funnily enough, there's a deal to be done there in the sense that Trump can do things to try and create the incentives around that they can then respond to. I think they want to do it. If you look at what's happened with Apple in other countries, India, I think, Brazil, both these big markets for Apple products, said, unless you build your factories here, we're going to put 100% tariff on your products. They did that. It was 100% tariff, doubled the price. So what you saw was this grey market of people going to Florida and buying iPhones and then selling them in Brazil. They didn't want that to happen, so in the end, Apple did the deal. They told their Foxconn, who make the phones, to build the factory in Brazil and to build the factory in India, and that's what they've done.
And you could think that could happen on that scale in America?
I'm not sure about the scale. It may be certain smaller parts of the business, but I think that they would like to do it, and I think that Trump is likely to make it happen.
That's extraordinary. James Freeman, do you think that could happen? iPhones built in America?
I suppose it's possible, but, you know, let's remember that most of the value is in the intellectual property, so it's actually not important for the U.S. economy that they build them here, and there wouldn't be that many jobs necessarily in the United States if it was a modern iPhone factory. But yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of manufacturing coming back to the U.S. or growing in the U.S. That's what we really haven't had, is the new businesses, if we get these reforms. Because people have said, you know, manufacturing will never happen again in the U.S. Well, let's just run the experiment with a 15 or 20% corporate tax rate and with a smaller regulatory footprint than we have now, something significantly less than the $2 trillion a year it's costing us. All of a sudden, other things could become a lot more economical.
That would be a real turnaround, a real shock.
But just a quick point on that, you're right about the actual specific jobs impact, but just think of the symbolic impact, how that would make people feel, how it would make Americans feel, business leaders feel if that change happened. It would have a huge symbolic effect.
Dramatic indeed.
Yeah.